Happy New Year and welcome into this edition of ACAP Today for the week of January 3rd, 2022. I'm Jason Parent with the Aroostook County Action Program. It's going to take a little bit of getting used to calling it 2022, as it always does when you're writing or signing documents and dating things when we turn into the new year. But indeed, Happy New Year to all of you. And as I said, welcome into this edition of ACAP Today. On this week's program, we are going to talk about the year that was 2021, looking at some of the highlights of ACAP's service to our Aroostook County community in 2021, but also talking with one of our newer ACAP team members about his journey and how he got here and how ACAP services helped him to attain the success that he is today. We'll get to all of that in just a minute, but before we do that, we want to first get to the news and information that you can use again for this first year of 2022. And we'll start with the news and information that you can use with reminding folks that tax season is right around the corner. And the Aroostook County Action Program, as part of the Cash Coalition, along with New Ventures Maine and the United Way of Aroostook and a number of other partners, both here in Aroostook County and statewide, are looking for volunteers to help our neighbors achieve long-term financial stability. The Aroostook Cash Coalition is seeking volunteers for the upcoming tax season to become an IRS certified tax preparer. All of the training is provided and you can volunteer as you are available. This work will start later this month here in January and run through about mid-April. So if you have an interest in learning more about helping other individuals who are in need file their taxes and to be able to maximize any return that they might get, we also will be working with those folks on the backside of that to help them with their financial literacy and their financial stability. We encourage you to contact Sarah at the United Way of Aroostook. Her email address is there, or you can call her directly at 207-764-5197. Next, we want to remind folks, as the deadline for this is looming, that the deadline to enroll in the open enrollment period for the affordable health insurance coverage through coverme.gov is coming right up. January 15th is the last day that folks can enroll in a health plan under the open enrollment plan. Of course, if you have a qualifying condition in the remainder of the year, you can apply at that time. But now, as the coming 2 weeks here are the end of the open enrollment period, we encourage you, if you have any questions on the different plans that are available out there or need help navigating the site or just want to talk to somebody about this, Andrea White, who is an assister with coverme.gov, is available here at ACAP. Her email address is there, or you can reach her by calling 764-3721 and asking for Andrea. We look forward to being able to serve folks in the next 2 weeks here as this deadline looms. Right back to COVID-19 news here in the state of Maine. Transmission rates, although they've dropped a little bit, continue to be high here in the state of Maine. So we are encouraging and continuing to encourage folks to get vaccinated and boosted. Anyone age 5 or older is eligible for a COVID-19 vaccine, and there are some conditions in terms of when you're eligible for a booster. We encourage you to look those up and to visit the maine.gov/COVID-19/vaccines website to see where there are vaccination clinics nearby you. You can also call us here at ACAP at 764-3721 if you need help locating an appointment. Our assisters here will be able to help potentially schedule an appointment for you or let you know where there's one available nearby, especially if you are unable to access that information online for whatever reason. Please don't hesitate to call. We also want to remind folks of the free vaccine ride program, so don't be letting lack of transportation be the reason for not getting vaccinated or boosted. The Department of Health and Human Services is offering that program. They ask that you call at least 48 hours in advance. The number for that is there on your screen. We are also encouraging people with the high transmission rate to really consider wearing a mask indoors in areas of high transmission, which Aroostook County and the entire state of Maine are classified right now as areas of high transmission. So we are encouraging masks. There is not a mask mandate in place, but it is a good practice to help protect others. There is, however, a mask mandate in place at ACAP facilities. So if you're coming into an ACAP facility, you will be asked to wear a mask, and one will be provided for you if you don't have one. So just keep that in mind if you're coming to see us here at the agency. We also want to remind folks, as it relates to COVID-19, that community supports are available through ACAP in partnership with the Department of Health and Human Services, Maine Centers for Disease Control. These can help with free temporary assistance, such as providing grocery and meal delivery at no charge, or sheltering assistance to stay at home to help you isolate or quarantine. Please do register online if you are in need of these services, or give us a call directly at 764-3721 so that we can support you in your quarantine and isolation. Again, 764-3721, and you want to ask for quarantine or community support services. And we want to remind folks as well, as part of the pandemic response, the federal government has established the Emergency Rental Assistance Program, and ACAP, in partnership with Maine Housing, is administering that program here in Aroostook County. The emergency rental assistance is essentially available to all who meet the the income guidelines for that program. You can go to mainehousing.org/COVID rent, as it indicates there on your screen, to check out what the income guidelines are for the program, and begin to fill out an application or complete an application right online. If for whatever reason you cannot fill out that application online, certainly give us a call at 764-3721 and we can assist you in getting that application completed. Again, we encourage all folks who meet income qualification guidelines as noted on the website to consider applying for the program, as it is a benefit to folks. And we also want to remind folks that it is heating season, as if you needed any reminder with the cold temperatures we've been experiencing. The Home Energy Assistance Program is available to help individuals. Income guidelines are listed there on your screen. One of the things that is of benefit this year is that the HEAP program has increased eligibility guidelines and has only a 1-month look back, if that is what will help qualify individuals. So if you've experienced any change in your income in the last month and think you might meet the eligibility guidelines, we certainly encourage you to call for an appointment. The direct line to our HEAP program is there on your screen, 768-3053. You can also email us at energy@acap-me.org and we will get an appointment set up for you. We are scheduling into the first months of the year here, so please be patient with us, and we have more availability for appointments in the northern and southern parts of Aroostook County as well. So if you live in one of those regions, please do consider giving us a call. We are also reminding folks again of the STEP parenting classes that we intend to offer shortly here in the new year. Those classes help people and parents in particular better understand young children, understand their behavior, and help to build self-esteem in the early years, amongst a number of other things. Julia Masick, ACAP's licensed clinical social worker, leads those classes, and she is waiting to hear from parents about their interest in this class to determine an official start date. So if you would have any interest in this class, give her a call at 768-0270 or email her at jmasick@acap-me.org. And we want to remind folks about the ACAP Community Cupboard. We are in need of a sponsor for the ACAP Community Cupboard. $500 for a business organization or a group of individuals, or an individual would help us stock that cupboard for the entire month. This one at 771 Main Street near the Walmart facility in Presque Isle is among the most heavily used community cupboards in Aroostook County. You can also reach out to Sherry Locke of our development team to contact her about potentially adopting the cupboard for the month and having your family or your organization stock it as well. So there's a couple of options for the sponsorship each month. And finally, if you are in need of anything and we haven't talked about it here in this program, we certainly encourage you to reach out and contact us. If you are in need of multiple services, our navigators are standing by as well and can help navigate you through to those services, whether it's services that we offer here as an agency or others that are offered outside of our agency. We certainly encourage you to connect with us in this way. And that's this week's news and information you can use. As I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, we are joined by one of ACAP's newer team members. Nate Voisine is joining me now. And Nate, it's great to have you on this edition of ACAP Today. 2021, the year that was now, has been a busy year for ACAP, but it's also been a very busy year for you as you joined our team in 2021. So before we get into what led you to become a part of the ACAP team, let's start and talk with you about what you're doing now. Talk about what you're doing for the agency.
Right now, I'm just helping out with the navigators down in the Hope and Prosperity Center until my program actually starts in January.
Now, talk about some of the things that you've been doing. Some of the things that you've been doing were just reflected in the news segment in terms of the community support. So share that experience and how you're helping to keep our community healthy and safe through this pandemic.
Okay, one of the things we're doing is when we get a COVID referral for people who have been tested positive for COVID, we go and grocery shop for them and deliver them right to their house.
All right. Well, I know that you're helping out there, and you're also helping out in our Hope and Prosperity Resource Center with the individuals who are either experiencing homelessness or housing insecurity who turn to us every day. And then in January or later this month, as our program starts with the Youth Homeless Demonstration Project, you'll sort of be transitioning to working with young people throughout Aroostook County who might be experiencing homelessness or who are housing insecure. As you get into that program, what do you see yourself doing in this particular program to help those youth across Aroostook County?
Yeah, the YHDP program is what is the name of the program I'm going to be doing. And basically what I'm going to be is like the big brother in the streets, you know. I'm going to be out trying to find people who need our services, kids between 14 and 24. And yeah, I'm going to be trying to find them and recruiting them in.
And help them, of course, to be more permanently and stably housed, and to work with them on other things like employment and education as need be. Nate, why is that work something that is a calling to you and so meaningful for you?
Mostly because I wasn't homeless as a teenager, but I lived a rough life the past 10 years, and it's kind of like me being retributed to help them out.
I know that we featured your story. I'm going to bring up a picture here of your family that was shared with the community in our impact report for 2021. The work that you and your family have done over these last couple of years has just been amazing. You've really, I think, as you indicated there, you've really turned your life around and working in partnership with this agency and with others and in the community. Talk to us as you feel comfortable sort of about your journey. You mentioned that the last 10 years have presented some challenges for you, but the last couple of years anyway, Nate, you have really turn things around and have made just a wonderful life for you and your family.
Yeah. Well, when I got out of prison in February of 2019, I started receiving services through ACAP. At what was it? The beginning of this year, I actually got a job with ACAP working at the Hope and Prosperity Center, the shelter that they had the Presque Isle in, and it's been going great since then.
Now, I know that the work that you were doing at the overnight shelter and now transitioning into the day services here at the Hope and Prosperity Resource Center during the day, there's sort of a connection that you're able to make with folks in those situations, because you're able to sort of be able to walk the walk with them, or you've walked that walk. And so that you're bringing that into the experiences and opportunities that you're going to be exploring in the Youth Homeless Demonstration Project as well. Why is that so critically important, that you're able to sort of have that connection with folks in that meaningful way?
Well, I just feel like I can form a different relationship with these people as opposed to somebody else that hasn't experienced this. So that lived experience that I have actually kind of gives me a little bit of leverage to create a different kind of relationship with people like that.
So as you look forward, because you've done such a tremendous job of getting to where you're at, is the kind of work that you're doing right now, is it fulfilling to you because of the fact that you're able to sort of, as you say, pay it forward to others based upon the experience that you've had?
100%. This is my feel-good job, and I love it. I love doing it.
Well, Nate Voisine, we love the fact that you are doing it. And I just want to say on behalf of the agency, thank you. The work that you're going to be doing moving forward, and the fact that you can bring in that lived experience and help individuals to attain the level of success that you have is just incredible. And we're so extremely proud of you. And I'm so grateful that you are willing to share your story, because part of sort of helping to help other individuals feel inspired is to sort of have a role model for them, and you certainly are that. And we appreciate all that you are doing and continue to do for individuals, especially those experiencing homelessness in Aroostook County, because it is, as you know, a very real problem and something that folks need somebody to help them with that hand up.
Thank you. I greatly appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity to come here and share my story and help people out.
Well, Nate Voisine, thank you for being a part of the ACAP story in 2021. And we look forward to the great stories that you're going to help. And maybe next year at this time, when we're looking back at 2022, we can have you back on the program with somebody who you've helped in 2022 to achieve the kind of success that you have. So thank you very much for joining us on the program. We are going to shift gears here a little bit now, and we're going to bring on shortly Sherry Locke, ACAP's Director of Advancement. She's going to be speaking with us about some of the successes. So Nate, if you want to switch chairs, I know that you're in the chair with Sherry. We'll bring Sherry on to have the continued part of our discussion. But we want to look back on the year that was 2021 and some of the successes of our agency. And in so doing, I've brought a couple up here on the screen, one being the work that we've done around early care and education. And amongst those initiatives in 2021 has been these two here, which include the addition of the Birch Street Community Center, thanks to our early care and education team, and really a cross section of folks across the agency. ACAP opened the Birch Street Community Center in July of this past year of 2021. Right there at the Presque Isle Housing Authority in that facility that they own and that we are utilizing right now. There is a Head Start classroom and a childcare classroom that are available to especially residents of that community center. In addition to that, we've really spent a lot of time working on listening to the needs of our community, as Sherry Locke can certainly attest, regarding childcare and the importance. And so Sherry, I just spoke about the Birch Street Community Center and the opportunity for that center, but there really has been a lot of other activity in 2021 around expanding childcare and across Aroostook County.
Absolutely, Jason. And we keep hearing from parents, from businesses, from community partners that childcare and more access to high quality childcare is needed countywide. So we are working with community partners. We're working within our agency to make that happen. We've expanded services in Fort Kent. We've expanded services in Presque Isle. We're evaluating expanding services also in the Holton area and what that looks like. And again, we're doing so again to meet the community need and working to expand the high quality services that we are able to provide, but in a safe setting for the children and families that we work with.
And that really is the critical thing, is that the connection to expanding childcare is not only about providing that quality early childhood education experience for children to ensure that they're school ready when they are starting a kindergarten, but also to really support the employers of Aroostook County so that we can get folks into much needed positions that are open and currently vacant across Aroostook County.
Absolutely. The need for childcare is not just a family issue. It really is a community and a workforce issue. Employers need their employees to have reliable and quality childcare. So we're really working multifaceted with our partners to meet that need. And again, at this time, it's a lot of the employers who are really stressing the need and who are really being more vocal about what they need. And we're really trying to step up to the plate to make sure that what we are offering does meet the community need, which is growing each and every day.
Now, Sherry, 2021 also saw ACAP make probably the most significant investment in a generation in our physical facilities. And although that certainly has an impact on the team members that we have working in those facilities, it really also is going to have a future impact on not only how we serve Aroostook County, but the level of services that we provide. So there's a number of projects that we did, but looking at these three in particular, let's walk folks through some of the things that we were able to accomplish physical facilities wide and what that impact might be to our ability to serve the community.
Absolutely. So the investment in our infrastructure was huge, but it wasn't about the buildings themselves. It was about the services that we can offer, the expanded services that we can offer, in the ease of access for the clients that we serve. One of the biggest and most noticeable changes that we've made is a remodel and modifications to our 771 Main Street office, which is our largest facility, located next to the Walmart in Presque Isle. And it really was to transform that facility to a one-stop shop, if you will, for the customers that we serve. Many of the clients that we serve annually, or even on one time, do not realize all of the programs and services that ACAP may offer. So we really wanted to make their experience with us as efficient as possible, and to connect them to the multiple programs and services that they may need. The pandemic has really exacerbated some of the needs and really has shined a light on the programs and services that we offer. We're serving many, many people for the first time, but while they're with us, we really want to make sure that they're connecting to all of those programs and services that they need, that they may not even realize that we offer. So this redesign, our goal with that was to be able to offer all of those services in one location, so that if folks are traveling from outlying communities or even locally, that they are receiving those services in the most efficient way. Again, many of them are leaving work to attend, to come to an appointment with us, or transportation may be a challenge. So how can we do this best to meet the community need?
Now, these next two really tie into so much more across Aroostook County. We talked about the impact of childcare previously, and how that has an impact related to employment. But the next two really touch so many aspects of the work that we do and the work that's critically needed in Aroostook County, from helping individuals who are experiencing homelessness and mitigating that situation to get them into housing, to helping place people in communities where there are employment opportunities available to help fill employment positions, and of course to really take a bite out of the challenge that's plaguing all of Maine and across the country, which is the affordable housing challenge. So let's talk about how our new Hope and Prosperity Resource Center and this plan for exploring supportive housing and really taking a huge bite out of that in 2022 were foundationally laid in 2021.
Absolutely. So the Hope and Prosperity Resource Center is a place, a space for individuals who need to be connected to services. Many of those who are experiencing homelessness at the time can visit and be there for the day, to receive a hot meal, to connect with a coach, to work with our workforce team. All of those things, again, in one space. Very, very important that these services are in one space, but really to provide that safe space for them to connect to all of those programs and services in a location that is, again, we can do the socially distanced piece as we're experiencing the pandemic, but can also connect to multiple individuals on our team and multiple services. So the relocation was huge. It actually is also closer proximity to Homeless Services of Aroostook, who has been a strong partner through the pandemic and even before. So we're really working in conjunction with them to offer this day program, this day service, with the ultimate goal of this facility, the One Edgemont Drive facility, being a supportive housing unit, but also housing the day center. So we'll have individuals who will live in the supportive housing unit, but also who along with others can use the services at the Hope and Prosperity Resource Center. So again, it is all about access, and it's about ease of use for the customers, and also making sure that we have those wraparound services in that one location to meet those needs. So really looking forward to the future. But again, a lot of the foundation work was done in 2021.
And I think, as you mentioned, those programs, those projects are really key community partnership projects. We've been very fortunate. You mentioned the support and partnership with Homeless Services of Aroostook, but the city of Presque Isle has had a role. Obviously, our critical funding partners, Maine Housing, have been very involved in that. We've interfaced with the housing authorities in Presque Isle and Caribou and received support from them on this project. So that recurring theme of really partnering with multiple community entities and looking at things from a county-wide perspective has really resonated in 2021.
I think it's been more necessary than ever, using the limited resources that we all have available and to work collectively towards one goal. And housing and childcare are both high on those priority lists for the entire community, for the entire state. But here in Aroostook County, we do work closely together with partners, and it takes all partners and all heads at the table to move forward. And so we are very blessed to have such strong partners, all sharing their talents and their knowledge, and all, again, working towards that common goal of meeting the needs of the residents of Aroostook County.
And Sherry, that extends to not only large projects like the establishment of the new Hope and Prosperity Resource Center, or this work that we're doing on this large supportive housing project, the heavy lift on that, but it also includes how we engage with the community. In 2021, despite the pandemic, the continued pandemic, we were really able to, in safe ways, start to re-engage with our community and support our community in a number of ways. And I know your team, our prevention team, others across the agency really led that effort. That will continue in earnest in 2022 as we celebrate our 50th anniversary. But just recapping some of the highlights from 2021 in terms of how we engaged and supported our community with special events and ways to meet community need.
Absolutely. And I think it's important to note that we did all of these projects with safety at the forefront. We really wanted to make sure that our team and our partners were safe, as well as the entire community. But the backpack program is something that's critical to hundreds of students across Aroostook County. So we did move forward with that project this year. We provided over 800 students with backpacks, again, countywide. Every community in Aroostook County, we had individuals and families that received backpacks this year. And again, that was done with partnerships. We had many businesses being part of this, United Way of Aroostook, Town Square Media, again, our continued partners on this, but it was all about meeting that need, which again, back to school is a stressful time for families, but again, doing so safely. So this photo that's on the screen is one of my favorites. These are two of our loyal donors. This is the third year that I can recall that they have come with backpacks to donate to other children here in Aroostook County. And as you can see, it was a nice day in August when we did it, but it was a mask, masks were required. So again, looking forward to continuing these projects in 2022, really appreciative to have the community support from partners and from continued donors, and to know that makes a huge difference here in Aroostook County. Last year, we started a new project, which was the Cinderella Project of Maine. That project had been happening in Southern Maine for years. And through our partnership with Waldo Community Action, we were able to move that project north. So we provided prom gowns to students here in Aroostook County. We were able to safely set up at the Aroostook Center Mall. They very generously donated that space. And we had over 100 students come in from Aroostook County to shop for that prom dress so that they would have that for prom. And again, it was a very special time for those students, but there was a lot of financial burden for families. So it was just one way to alleviate some of those challenges for families. And we were able to do so because of the strong partnerships that we have. We had lots of volunteers, dozens of volunteers helping with that event. And again, it was done with safety at the forefront. So that event will be coming back in 2022. We're working on details now, so more to come soon on that event.
Looking forward to that, Sherry. I know that it was a really heartwarming project to be engaged in and to engage with members of our community that we don't always have the opportunity to. Folks further along in their teenage years. I know our prevention programs get to interface more so with that group, but it's great to be able to support folks across the lifespan. Speaking of supporting our community, one of the other ways, and your team and others led this certainly, is the effort to help raise awareness and around vaccine equity in Aroostook County, specifically safety measures around the COVID-19 vaccine. And so the Don't Wait, Vaccinate campaign was born in 2021 and really took flight, didn't it?
Absolutely. And again, it's truly a community collaborative. We had partners from all over Aroostook County, people in the medical field, people in emergency management, people from other nonprofits, everyone all working together to get this message out, to get the most up-to-date information out to the community so that everyone had access to the information and can make the decisions that were best for themselves and their families. So it was a great success, and we will be continuing that campaign as information continues to come out in 2022. 2022. But again, very thankful that we had such great community support from individuals, from families, from businesses, and then from our partners, again, including the media, the medical community, who has been working overtime in many, many ways throughout this pandemic, but again, was willing to step up and help us share that information with the community. So really looking forward to continuing those efforts in 2022 and providing the community with that information in real time to help keep everyone as safe as we can.
And Sherry, certainly the Don't Wait, Vaccinate campaign was not the only way that we were able to serve our community. Certainly not the tip of the iceberg in terms of the way we were able to serve our community in sort of sustaining themselves and making it through what would be year 2 of this pandemic. There were many other ways as well.
Absolutely. And I think it's important to note that as an agency, we served over 1,000 new clients since the start of the pandemic through a multitude of different programs. But our quarantine social supports program, very important. When this information was published, we actually had not seen the peak of COVID cases as we have now seen here in Aroostook County. But providing individuals and families with food and medicine while they were safely quarantining and isolating at home. We opened not 1, but 2 overflow shelters during the pandemic so that people could, have a warm, safe place to be, but again, provide that socially distance piece. The rental assistance program that's helped over 1,000 households at this point, and that we help month after month to make sure that folks are able to stay safely in their home. It's been incredible, and it really has been a team effort with our team here at ACAP, but also with the support of our community members, making sure that the community has access to information in real time, able to connect to the programs and services that they need. And a lot of the individuals that we're serving are just calling and saying, I'm not sure exactly, what program you have that will benefit me, but I need help. How can you connect? So that start of that navigation program has been huge. And as a trusted community partner for now 5 decades, we really would encourage anyone who needs help, even if you're unsure of how you fit into our programs and services, to reach out to us because we're happy to help. And if it's not a service that we can offer, we're happy to connect with partners who are doing great work, again, throughout Aroostook County.
Indeed, Sherry, and you make a good point. The numbers that you're seeing there on your screen were captured as of September 30th, 2021. I know that we can say, at least on the quarantine community support, that number that's on the screen there, that 42 number, there were actually about 20 more than that in the month of November alone, that we provided over 60 households with COVID-19 quarantine community support. So certainly an indication of what's happened with the spike in cases in recent months, and the service that we're continuing to provide. And obviously our numbers in terms of the households we've been able to support with rental relief assistance have gone up in that time frame as well. So happy to be able to support the community through this very challenging time. I don't think any of us would have imagined that we would be heading into a 3rd year of the pandemic that began in 2020, but here we are at the start of 2022. And still providing these supports. And thankfully, we're able to do that. And our team members, who seem inexhaustible at this time, are just doing the work and continuing to do the great work that we are seeing happen in our communities. And so, Sherry, with that, it was great to have both you and Nate. Nate provided a little bit of the personal and the human touch perspective, and you greatly provided some of the statistics, the data, and the stories behind those stories in terms of our service to the community in 2021. It was an exhausting but very satisfying year in terms of our service. I would be remiss if we didn't quickly talk about, before we let you go, the year ahead in 2022. As I mentioned, it is our 50th anniversary year. I know you and our community development team, that includes board members and staff, are fast working on a series of, again, safe events that we can launch and ways to raise awareness about our services in the community. So just give you a brief moment to spotlight that.
Absolutely. So 50 years is incredible for us. And again, the last couple of years have been really challenging. So we're really excited to get out into the community, to share more about what we do, to thank the community for supporting us. So we are planning events throughout 2022, as Jason mentioned, very safely. But again, countywide, we are a countywide community action agency. So very important that we have a presence in all communities here in Aroostook County, to be sharing information and to be celebrating the great work that's happening in Aroostook County and the people that live and support us here in Aroostook County. So more information coming soon, but we will continue with the over 40 programs and services that we offer, and we'll have some fun events, new events also throughout the year. I also think it's important to note that as an agency, we are always ready and willing if the need changes or something new arises, that we are always willing to step up and to do what needs to be done. Again, in 2020, we had no idea we'd be delivering groceries to the homes of people that were isolating or quarantining. And, when 2022 starts, here we are. So I think that's just important to note that our team is ready for whatever the community needs from us at the time.
Indeed, Sherry, and just a preview of coming attractions for this program for the next few weeks. We're going to be spotlighting, highlighting some of the newer programs. Nate Voisine talked about one of them, the Youth Homeless Demonstration Project. We're going to dedicate a program to that in the coming weeks, as well as our Improving Outcomes for Youth program, and some other programs that we have here in the agency that are starting up, including a grant that we're working on in partnership with our friends at the Maine Youth Resilience Building Network. We're going to talk with those folks all over the next few weeks here. In addition to that, we're going to be marking our 50th anniversary repeatedly throughout the year on ACAP Today here in 2022, beginning with a conversation later this month featuring the 3 former executive directors of the Aroostook County Action Program. Many of you know them as Norm Fournier, Brian Tebow, and Connie Sandstrom. They're going to join us. All 3 of them together are going to join me as guests in a very special episode of ACAP Today, a 50th anniversary special episode of ACAP Today before the month's end here in January. And we're looking forward to that conversation and taking a stroll down memory lane and bringing back some memories that many of you might recall or fondly remember as we celebrate the 50th anniversary of this edition. So we'll get to hear about the history of ACAP through those who lived it and through those who led it in the next few weeks. And so with that, before Sherry and I leave you for this week, we want to just remind you that if you have any interest in the work that we do and want to be a part of the next 50 years of ACAP's development, we encourage you to consider joining our team. There are positions available across Aroostook County, specifically in central and northern Aroostook County. We have a great benefits package, and we encourage you to consider submitting an application. You can do that and check out the positions and descriptions at acap-me.org, and we encourage you to do that. And so before we leave you this week, we close as we always do with our snapshot of the week. One of the snapshots that was taken during the recent holiday season here, obviously. This is our HEAT team who took just a few minutes off from their very busy schedule of helping individuals get connected with HEAT to celebrate the holiday with a little bit of merriment. We thank our HEAT team. They work super hard, especially this time of year, taking emergency calls in the morning and keeping a very steady stream of appointments. Thank you to our HEAT team for helping keep Aroostook County residents' homes warm through the winter season. And we're glad that you got to celebrate the season together. They're a great team, and we appreciate all that they do. We also appreciate you for tuning into this edition of ACAP Today. Again, if you need any assistance, please reach out to us here at the Aroostook County Action Program. We'll be back next week with the first of our spotlight programs on the new programs ACAP will be offering in 2022. Until then, have a great week. And once again, Happy New Year.